Hello and welcome to the Monthly Marquee. I'm your host, Bart Lovins, Director for the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. Our first guest representing Hardin County Playhouse is Ms. Carrie Ray. Carrie, how are you?
I am well.
And what brings you to us today?
So I'd like to talk a little bit about our first production of our 50th season, which is the Pulitzer Prize winning play Harvey, written by Mary Chase. It's set in 1944, and it is the story of a congenial gentleman named Elwood P. Dowd and his pal Harvey. Hilarity ensues when his sister Vida gets tired of Harvey and goes to have Elwood committed into a sanitarium. There's a mistake made, however, and Vida gets committed. And from there on out, it is a lot of fun.
And people would maybe be reminded of the movie with Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart, that made this really popular. It did do a long stint on Broadway. I'm not exactly sure how many weeks, but the movie is what made this more popular with Jimmy Stewart.
And I know that you can go on YouTube and find some clips from the recent Broadway revival with
Jim Parsons.
Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory
and
playing
that
role.
was a phenomenal. That's actually what I used more as my
muse.
Really?
Okay.
Rather than the classic movie. I wanted this to translate because this was written in 1944. Right. So a lot of the humor and a lot of the phrases and the verbiage do not translate into the 21st century.
Sure.
So we had to make some minuscule changes to the comedy, to some of the verbiage, just so that 21st century teen audiences, young adult audiences would understand the humor. We also added a whole lot of physical humor. A lot of, not necessarily slapstick, but a lot of more shtick comedy with physicality to get the humor to translate into this time period.
And am I correct, you're directing this production?
I am. This is my first directing experience with Hardin County Playhouse. I'm super excited. I've had a ball. We are so grateful. We're now at ECTC using their Science Auditorium since the change in venue occurred, and we are so grateful to them. But I'm not going to fib, that space comes with its challenges and obstacles.
Any space does.
And so it has been a fun, creative challenge overcoming those obstacles. The space is not huge, and with 11 actors, at one point 9 of them are on that stage. Balancing it out and making it look like a really nice picture is a challenge, but we did it and it was amazing.
And of course the other side of that coin is the audience's proximity to the action.
Yes, very close, within 5 feet.
So you feel like you are part of the show.
You are in it, and you're right up there. You can see the actors, every little nuance of their faces. We've really focused on, you can't just recite lines.
Right.
You have to become a character, and you have to act with your face, with your body, and create a whole persona, because the audience is right there, and they can see every nuance on your face.
And don't you think that's even more important in a show where the 12th character is unseen?
Correct.
So you have to physically indicate
that he's there.
What that character is doing, where they're at, not step on them.
Right, and we talk about that a lot. Everybody, when Harvey is on stage, where is Harvey? Do you know where Harvey is? Where is Harvey? Because people are walking through, walking on. Nope, stop. Where's Harvey? Who knows where Harvey is? And he has a designated spot, and he has blocking. Harvey is part of the show, but it's unique because let's just say that right now only Elwood can see him for now.
Yeah. Well, what else is going on? I know you're not here just to represent Harvey, but there's a lot happening with the Playhouse.
Yes, there is. We are super excited to announce that the City of Elizabethtown has graciously donated a plot of property to HCP. It's on Quince Alley behind the Justice Center for us to build a new state-of-the-art community theater building. We are currently taking donations. You can visit our website at hardincountyplayhouse.com, our Facebook page, or visit Sicilian Bank and make donations directly there. We have a healthy figure to reach. We're looking at $1.8 to $2 million. And as soon as we reach the minimum to break ground, we're hoping to do that within a year.
I was going to say, is there any kind of deadline to raise the funds?
I don't know that there is, but we are so anxious to get started and so anxious to have our home. A place to call home. So as much as you can, every little bit helps. And you can also speak to any of the board members off the website and ask them more questions concerning how to donate, where to donate, and things like that.
And of course, one of the most wonderful ways to contribute to this effort is to come see productions.
Absolutely.
And Harvey's run is when?
Harvey runs, we open this Friday, so super excited. We are in Tech Week. We open on the 6th, which is this Friday, and run the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then we run the following weekend, Thursday through Sunday, the 12th through the 15th. Shows are at 7 p.m., Sunday matinee at 3. All shows are $15 except the Thursday evening show, which is student night, and tickets are $10 for students on that night.
And then what's up next after Harvey?
So we have our fall fundraiser coming up, which is A Night with Poe, and that is being directed by Michael Radford. And auditions have already been held. I do believe they had their read-through not too long ago. And so they're starting rehearsals for that. And that show will be October 4th, 5th, 18th, and 19th. Ticket prices have not been announced. They will likely be just a little bit higher because it is a fundraiser. And it's going to our building.
And what, I know you're not directing the show, but what do you know about that production?
You know what? I don't know a whole lot about it other than
It's a mystery.
believe, yes, I believe it's snippets of Poe's work put into a big show. I believe it's got a lot of comedic aspect to it.
Interesting.
And so I'm not super familiar with it. I've been so engrossed in an
your
invisible
world,
rabbit
yes.
that it's been tough to get into anything else. I am going to audition for a show coming up, but again, I haven't even
And
researched
what show
that.
would that be?
I'm going to audition for Night Mother,
Oh,
and that's coming up
okay.
in the spring at HCP, and that'll be directed by Jeff Curtis.
See, and I thought you might have said Nuncrackers, which is the next production coming
nope,
up.
Nuncrackers is coming up. I'm not sure when the performance dates are, and the director has not announced audition dates. Watch our website, HardinCountyPlayhouse.com, and our Facebook page for those announcements.
And that website is?
HardinCountyPlayhouse.com.
Phone number is?
270-351-0577.
And you can reach out to either of those for tickets for
Any of our
Harvey
productions.
or tickets for the fundraiser
A
and
Night
Evening
with Poe.
Night with Poe. Auditions and tickets for Nuncracker, and
Yep.
of course auditions and tickets for Night Mother.
Yes, and we also have on our website Ticket Leap. You can purchase tickets online.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Carrie.
Thanks, Bart. It's been my pleasure.
Our next guest is Miss Carmen Caldera-Bratska, representing the Elizabethtown Performing Arts Center. Carmen, it's been, I saw you at the beginning of the summer.
Yes.
And took a month off, and you took a month off.
I did.
And what have you been doing with your time?
Well, kind of just every summer is about getting the Performing Arts Center back in order.
Sure.
I think every Performing Arts Center pretty much has to kind of do that, put everything back where it belongs and get a fresh start for the fall. So we did that. We also had some damage to our stage in the spring from
Water damage, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
water damage. The joy of rain. But we are working on working towards getting that repaired. It was some pretty major damage, just in one area. So we are still going strong, fully functioning, but we've got to get that taken care of. So.
You're not having to perform around traffic cones or anything, are you? Okay,
no,
all right.
not yet. Yeah, we're not doing
I
any
have to share,
ballets or anything.
I was
but yes.
I was doing children's theater touring out, and we were out in West Virginia, up in the mountains, and we showed up at this elementary school, and you never knew where are you going to be in the main building or an off building or the
Right.
gym or the cafeteria,
Right.
and over to the side of this new elementary school was a theater.
Nice.
And so the door was open, we walked in, and there's birds flying around inside, there's broken windows, and I was like, oh, well, we must be in the wrong place. And as we were walking back out to our van, the custodian said, hang on, I'm coming, I'll turn the lights on. No, we were in
Oh, my
this
goodness.
old dilapidated theater with the curtains torn, and there's this huge hole in the middle of the like 3 foot around hole
goodness.
in the middle of the stage, and the custodian's like, "You guys could perform around that, can't you?" So we happen to have
Okay.
so we put a 4x4 platform on top of the hole, so that we wouldn't fall
Right.
into it.
Right. Smart. That reminds me of the raccoons that used to watch us at the Hardin County
Yes.
Playhouse in the park.
If we could just train them to run follow spot, we would have been doing
Exactly.
fine. Yeah.
Yes. They could have added to the ensemble. Or, yes. Yeah, we could have done Cinderella or
Yeah.
Sleeping Beauty or.
Oh, they would have been fun, and Fiddler in
Yes.
their little prayer shawls. They'd be
Yes.
little yarmulkes on a raccoon. How adorable.
Yes.
How adorable. We're off track.
Now we need to.
Back on track.
Back on
so
track.
you have some water damage to your stage.
Yes.
That's getting repaired in the coming months.
Yes.
And what else is going on?
We have Morningside Elementary School has a wonderful drama club. We'll be talking about their production when we get closer to Christmas. I don't know the name of the show, but I know that it is Christmas themed, but also Ghostbuster themed.
Okay.
So it will be very interesting. I can't wait to read the script. But Morningside parents with students in 3rd through 5th grade should be watching Backpacks in the next week or so for information on that, because auditions are this month. And then they will start going into rehearsals the week after auditions.
So
And they will
Morningside
go-
parents,
Yes.
if you don't know about these auditions, and it's still September, go through the paperwork from the backpacks because
Yes.
it's in there.
Yes, check the backpacks every day.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a general rule, but especially with this coming up, you want to check those backpacks.
It gets
'Cause
stacked
it's
up
gonna
on the
be-
kitchen counter.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But last year they had 90 students
Oh
involved.
my gosh.
Yes, they do everything. They do the lights, the sound, the acting. There's always a choir. There's stage managers and some in charge of costumes. It is fully involved.
Very
It is a
cool.
wonderful thing. Yes, and then September 27th at 6 o'clock at the Elizabethtown Performing Arts Center, we will be having a talent competition for students at TK Stone Middle School and Elizabethtown High School. They're going to have a junior division and a senior division, and this is the first year, so that's really all I know about it. I know there are pre-auditions or pre-screenings, and then the finalists will be at the competition that evening.
Gotcha.
There will be a charge at the door. I don't know what the amount is, but I know it's $5 or less.
Okay. Cool.
So that's a ballpark. But that is September 27th at 6 o'clock.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And just a little tidbit, you were talking to me before we went on air here.
Yes.
That you're getting to work on a project that your mother began.
Yes, she wrote a play called Where the Green Things Play, which I actually did the staged reading of, about 12 or 13 years ago. And then she kind of put it aside, and I picked it back up, and my daughter is working on kind of making it more today. There were some references that I'm not sure kids today would get.
Yeah.
So she's updating it and making it a little bit longer, adding some lines for some of the roles, and then we're going to premiere that for Morningside Elementary, Helmwood Heights Elementary, and Pather Academy.
How exciting. Well, we'll talk more about that later when it
Yes.
starts to come together.
Yes.
But that's very exciting to me,
It
knowing
is.
your mom for so many years.
Yes.
Carmen, thank you very much. If people want to learn more about what's going on, how can they contact you guys?
Elizabethtown Performing Arts Center on Facebook is the best place to find us, and we
Excellent.
update all our information there.
Great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for having me.
My next guest on the program is Miss Lacey Knowles from North Hardin High School, and she is this month's PAC Kid Spotlight. Did I say your name right?
Yeah.
So many of you guys that walk through our doors, I know only on a first name basis.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Lacey Knowles was right.
Cool, cool. Well, Lacey, thank you for being today's PAC Kid Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
And
today.
was today your first limousine
Yes,
experience?
Yes, it was my first limousine experience. A lot of firsts today.
First radio, first TV?
Radio, definitely first TV. Well, no, because I did academic team stuff. But
Gotcha.
first TV where I'm actually the one people are paying attention to.
Oh, I hear you. Cool. Well, and we want to thank Skaggs Limousine for their help, as always, supporting the PAC Kid Spotlight.
Oh, yeah.
So, what have you done at the Performing Arts Center?
Performance-wise, I have been in Seussical, Shrek the Musical, Hello Dolly just recently, Mary Poppins Jr., and I am currently in the ensemble for Young Frankenstein.
Great. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I'm always interested to learn, I always call it the instigating incident. What was the moment that you remember in your life where you went, I want to do that?
I think it was whenever I auditioned for Pinocchio, the Missoula Children's Theater show. And I got in as an assistant director, and they handed me a binder that said lights on it. And I was like, oh, they want me to do lights. So I pushed, and they let me do it. And the first time I was in that light booth, sitting behind the board, I really felt like I want to keep doing this lighting stuff. I want to keep helping with theater. And then I really got into just the acting and everything. And it's been a really enjoyable experience.
What do you get out of it?
A lot of experience, I would say. Like, I don't think many teenagers can say, oh, I know how to run a light booth, I know how to run a spotlight, I know how to manage telling 40 children, hey, lean against the wall, don't be seen. And it brings me a lot of joy just seeing people in the audience smile. Even if I'm not the one on stage, I still feel like, hey, I caused that person to smile.
You seem to me a very confident young woman.
Yeah,
Where does that come from?
I think part of it comes from in middle school I was not that confident because I really worried a lot about what do other people think of me. I need to impress everyone else. And then in 8th grade just kind of hit me. I was like, who cares? And I know that's a weird mentalism to have, but I just kind of stopped caring so much about what other people thought, and I just decided to embrace, this is who I am, this is how I act. And ever since then, I've just kind of been a lot more, hold your head high, walk down the halls, you're gonna be okay.
Well, and I think that's interesting because I think that's particularly hard for a lot of middle schoolers. Middle school's tough. Middle school's tough.
Middle school's mean.
And kids can be cruel.
Definitely.
And I'm guessing, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm guessing you have almost always been tall for your age.
What makes you think that?
Just throwing that out there.
Oh yes, I've always been very tall for my age.
And how has that affected you in your life?
Well, in just everyday life, it makes things slightly harder because getting on and off the bus, I hit my head a lot.
Sure.
But also, people are kind of intimidated by me sometimes, just like by my general demeanor. Because I am tall, I do hold myself kind of more up. So it's kind of like I'm a little bit more intimidating to the first eye. And then once you actually start talking to me, it's like, oh, she couldn't hurt a fly.
One of the things that I notice is body language. That's kind of part of being a performer, is using your body language to communicate. And you'll see it, like when I'm playing Igor in Young Frankenstein, it's all about body language.
Oh, yes.
Everything I do is body language.
Oh, yeah.
But your body language is very confident. And I know teenagers that are tall for their age, for their classmates, that do a lot of hunching over to try to become invisible, or try to anyway.
And again, when I was in middle school, I kind of hunched my shoulders. I kind of tried to hide.
Yeah.
But then once 8th grade hit, one, it was hurting my back because hunching over hurts. And two, I just didn't feel like I needed to try to hide myself. I'm like, that whole I don't care what other people really think of me aspect, I just need to be myself. So
was that around the same time you got involved in theater?
Yeah, I think that I would definitely say that like theater and the PAC have really just kind of brought me out and helped me realize I just need to be myself and embrace who I am.
And I think it's being in a room of people that accept you for yourself, however you are, is one of the big things in theater. I always like to say theater is the activity, the team activity that catches students that fall through the cracks. If you're athletic, then you're doing one kind of thing, and if you're academically supercharged, you're doing another thing. But then there's a group of people that are kind of in the middle of both of those things.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the arts really apply, whether it's visual art, music, dance.
Yeah, I agree with you on this because you had to be athletic to be in a performance because you have to have enough stamina to keep your dancing in time, your singing in time, and to keep that smile and that great body movement like you were talking about, but then also you have to be able to multitask definitely in theater, because it's not just I'm here dancing, I'm here singing, you're doing everything at once.
Yeah, not to mention scheduling.
Yes.
You've got to keep, the grades can't go down. You're coming up to an age where you're going to be getting a part-time job.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be yet another thing to juggle.
Oh yeah. And yes, part of me is like, I need to get a part-time job when I'm 16, but also I'm so busy, I don't know if it'd be wise for me to get a part-time job.
You will find a way to balance, and you will make choices.
Yeah.
And you'll figure all of that out, I have no doubt. If someone were watching this interview right now and they're in elementary school and they're thinking about doing Missoula or looking ahead at youth theater, what would you say to encourage them?
I would say that whenever you walk into that audition for the first time, you're gonna be nervous, but don't let that nerve pull you back and let you hide who you are. Just step onto the stage, sing your song the best you can, and whenever they say, all right, we're gonna dance, don't just dance, make yourself a character. Because from what I've done with youth theater, you don't just stand there and dance with a blank face. You bring yourself to life. And same with whenever they say time to read parts or time to act out a scene. You stand firm and you give it all you've got. Don't try to hide yourself because you think, oh, I'm not as good as this other person.
Mm-hmm. Lacey, thank you for not hiding yourself. And thank you for coming out today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
This fall finds me on stage singing and dancing for the first time since playing Thénardier in Les Miserables back in 2013. Okay, well, there was the matinee during The Little Mermaid in 2016 when I had to almost literally jump in as the chef at the last minute, but we're not going to count that, even though there's evidence. I've handed over the directing reins this fall to our technical director, Aaron Taylor, and he saw fit to cast me as Igor. It's pronounced Igor in Young Frankenstein. I turned 54 in a few days, and to say that I was a bit rusty going into rehearsals would be an understatement. I am using muscles, vocal and mental as well as physical, that I haven't relied upon in years. It's been a great challenge of time and stamina, and a heck of a lot of fun. A large part of that fun has been being put through my paces alongside the local amateurs and professionals, as well as students that I have myself had the joy of directing over the years. What a great learning experience that has been for all of us. Whether it is asking one of the adults to run lines or asking a student to go over a dance step, they are getting to teach me for a change, and that's empowering to them in ways I might never be able to do as a director. We're also launching our 18th season here at the PAC. And since tickets just went on sale for all season events, I thought it might be helpful to give you the inside track on what shows you might want to check out. First and foremost, Young Frankenstein is September 19th through the 29th. If you are easily offended, I'd skip this one. But if you love the original Mel Brooks movie, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience to see it live on stage. Dickens' Christmas Carol returns on the 2nd of November, and this live radio drama is filled with local celebrities, guest starring Terry Miners, and with an audience supplying sound effects. This is fun for young and old alike with active imaginations. The Nutcracker is going to be the 20th through the 22nd of December. And if you've not seen The Nut in a while, now is the time. We are literally adding more magic to the show thanks to a collaboration with one of our dancers who also happens to be a magician. In January, Sherlock returns with The Sign of Four, January 16th to the 26th. After last year's surprise hit of A Study in Scarlet, with the next novel, we will continue the series. If this one's equally successful, expect The Hound of the Baskervilles next season. We then have Hamlet in March, the 27th. And if Shakespeare scares you, or worse yet, bores you, take a chance and check out how Kentucky Shakespeare makes the Bard's work more interesting and accessible to modern audiences. Sleeping Beauty will be on our stage the 10th and the 11th of April, and I want you to imagine what 50 to 60 children can accomplish in a week's time. Do that and you won't even come close to the caliber of performances that Missoula Children's Theater brings to our stage each year. So, come see me in Young Frankenstein this month and see how well I am holding up, or come to any of our other events this season and see how well the pack is holding up. Hopefully you'll find that we're all doing pretty well for our age.